Part 24. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 231. Seeing that Cao was determined, 11G stopped trying to persuade him. A few days later, Su's mother was brought to Yanzhou by Cao. In order to persuade Su's mother to write a letter to Su Shu, Cao even tried his best to please Su's mother, hoping to leave a good impression on Su's mother and help him persuade Su Shu to switch to his account. However, as 11Zk expected, Su's mother refused to write a letter for Cao on the grounds that she was old and could not control Su Shu everywhere. In fact, the reason why Su's mother was unwilling to write a letter was because he had long heard that Cao attacked Suzhou, and after conquering Bihai and Lanja, he massacred the city and killed almost all the people in the two places. Therefore, he believed that Cao was not the master of the Ming dynasty, so he did not want Su Shu to abandon Liu Bei, a clan member of the Han dynasty, and switch to Cao's account. After Cao knew that Su Shu was unwilling to write a letter, he did not force her. Instead, he called his advisors and asked how he could attract Su Shu to Yanzhou. After Cao asked, Chen Yu, who had already figured out a way, said, "My lord, although Yu is not talented, he is confident that he can be among the best in the world in imitating handwriting. Since Su's mother is unwilling to write a letter, Yu is willing to write to her on her behalf." Su Shu wrote a letter to persuade him to come to Yanzhou to serve the Lord. Cao was naturally overjoyed after hearing Chen Yu's words, but 11Zk dissuaded him again. "My lord, you must not do it." Although Su Shu is a counselor, because of his when he was young, he had a good sense of right and wrong, so he could see the right and wrong very clearly. With Zk's understanding of Su Shu, if after he came to Yanzhou, he learned that this letter was not written by Su's mother, but was a trick used by the Lord to deceive him, he will inevitably feel resentful in his heart. Once he becomes resentful towards his Lord, I am afraid that even if he is forced to stay in Yanzhou, he will not be used by his Lord. However, Cao did not care. He said, "I have you as a talented person under my command, plus Gongda, Zongde and other top advisors. What if Su Shu is not used by me? Such a talented person cannot be allowed to assist Liu Bei even if he is unwilling to make suggestions for me. What I can't get, Liu Bei can't get it easily." 11Zk listened to Cao's words and instantly understood what Cao was thinking. "I would rather betray others than others betray me." This is Cao's life motto, and 11Zk has known it for a long time. But he doesn't care whether Cao really would rather others betray me, because in troubled times, it is possible to have such an idea, obviously has a better chance of achieving great achievements. This is why he chose to join Cao. It's a pity that the world will lose another super strategist. 11Zk sighed in his heart. Then, Chen Yu personally went to the residence provided by Cao for Su's mother, and easily obtained Su's mother's handwriting. So Chen Yu quickly wrote a letter to Su Shu according to Su's mother's handwriting. Letter. In the letter, Chen Yu mainly told Su Shu that Su's mother had been taken to Yanzhou to live by Cao, and that Cao was very enthusiastic about him, and it could be seen that Cao was a wise master. At the same time, he also said that Liu Bei had been defeated in many battles. After wasting half his life, he finally got his own territory, but in half a month, only Xiaopai County was left. Su Shu would not have a good development if he followed him, so he asked Su Shu to come to Cao as soon as possible. After Chen Yu finished writing, he sent the letter to Cao. "Give it to Cao for review." Cao carefully compared Su's mother's handwriting for a long time, but did not see any difference. He immediately praised Chen Yu, and then sent someone to deliver the letter to Su Shu. A few days later, Su Shu, after receiving the letter, he opened it and read it, and his heart almost collapsed. He hurriedly found Liu Bei, told him the matter, and said, "My lord, I have made up my mind to build a career with my lord, but Cao actually did this. He brought his concubine's mother to Yanzhou. My mother wrote to the concubine saying that Cao was a talented man and had great strategies, and tried her best to persuade the concubine to go to Yanzhou to serve Cao. My lord, by bringing my mother to Yanzhou, Cao must be warning me. If I don't go to Yanzhou, I'm afraid that according to Cao's ruthless character, my mother may be poisoned by Cao. My lord, I lost my father when I was young, and my mother raised me up. When I impulsively killed someone for revenge, and the government caught me, my mother a Euro trademark's desperate eyes and expression will never be forgotten. From then on, Shukai decided to give up martial arts and follow literature, and vowed to repay his mother well. If my mother made a mistake because of my momentary hesitation at this time, I'm afraid I will regret it for the rest of my life. I originally wanted to create a king's career with my lord, but I relied on this heart. But now that my mother has been captured by Cao, I am now in a state of disarray and cannot be of any help to my lord, so I request to say goodbye to my lord from now on." Liu Bei saw Su Shu's sincerity and knew his mother's position in his heart. If he still forced him to stay, he was afraid that even if he stayed, it would leave a knot in his heart. Besides, after such a long period of contact, look, even if he forced him to stay, he would try his best to leave, unless he could directly tie him up, but if he stayed like that, he wouldn't make any suggestions for him. Therefore, even if Liu Bei couldn't bear it, he still pulled Su Shu's hand. The hand said, "Yuanzi, please go with ease." The occurrence of this kind of thing only shows that Cao is too insidious and cunning. I don't blame you. Moreover, filial piety comes first among all good deeds. If Yuanji can possess such filial piety, how could Bei fail to fulfill it? Su Shu originally felt guilty towards Liu Bei because he had taken the initiative to be loyal to Liu Bei, but in less than a month he had to go to a powerful enemy. He thought that if Liu Bei could force him to stay, and he tried his best to defend himself, he would feel better if he explained the reason why he had to go to Yanzhou to Liu Bei. But he didn't expect that Liu Bei would let him go without saying a word, and even though he was reluctant to leave, he would not stay for his own sake, and the guilt in his heart would become even stronger. So, Su Shu knelt on the ground and said to Liu Bei, "Since ancient times, it has been difficult to have both loyalty and filial piety. Now I have chosen filial piety and abandoned my lord. The guilt in my heart is indescribable. But please rest assured, my lord, although I said that I will definitely not be able to return after leaving, but even in Cao's camp, I vowed not to contribute another trick to Cao in this life." Liu Bei was moved after hearing Su Shu's oath, and hurriedly helped Su Shu up. Just as he was about to speak, he heard Su Shu say, "My lord, before I leave, I have to offer my lord one last plan. If the lord adopts it, he will definitely not be as homeless as he is now. Instead, he will have a place to develop his own strength and have a better chance of becoming the world leader in the future." After Liu Bei heard this, he immediately felt short of breath and asked quickly, "Will Yuanji plan be implemented?" Su Shu said, "My lord can enter Yizhu and take Lu Yan in his place. 3 Kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace." Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 232. Liu Bei was very surprised after hearing Su Shu's words. He asked doubtfully, "Why did Yuanji let me enter Yizhu? Yizhu is easy to defend and difficult to attack. Moreover, the pastor of Yizhu, Lu Yan, was personally granted the title by the late Emperor Lu Hong, and he and Bei were both members of the Han clan. Moreover, this Suzhu rich, why did you abandon Suzhu and go to Yizhu?" Seeing that Liu Bei did not understand his plan, Su Shu patiently explained, "Although Suzhu is rich and has sufficient food and grass, it has been a battleground for military strategists since ancient times. And according to today's the situation in the world, Suzhu's geographical location is too special. To the north is Cao of Qingzhou, to the west is Yuanshu of Yuzhou, and to the south is Sun Jian of Yangzhou. Each of these three princes is powerful. With the current strength of the Lord, he has no relationship with anyone for the time being. The power of a battle. What's more, although the Lord temporarily repelled Cao, the losses in Suzhu were too great. Currently, there is only one Xiaopai kingdom left, and the other counties are controlled by Cao. The Lord only has this county. He cannot even guarantee the source of troops. Under the attack of these three princes, it is even more difficult for the Lord to develop. As for the north, there are currently King Bingjian, Yuan Shao, Cao, Lu Buletin, and other princes. The strength of each side competed with each other. Not long ago, Gong Sunzan had been eliminated by Yuan Shao, but Yuan Shao and Gong Sunzan fought against each other, but in the end, King Bingjian Wang Yuwang benefited. King Bingjian not only took the opportunity to conquer Yuyang County, Zhou County, Yubei County, etc. Under Gong Sunzan's rule, all the land was taken into the bag, unifying the entire territory of Yuzhu. In addition, even Gong Sunzan's Beima Yikong and other remaining Yuzhu assault cavalry and infantry were all taken under the command of King Bingjian. The strength of King Bingjian was far superior to that of other princes. His strength has been greatly enhanced. Yuan Shao spent tens of thousands of troops fighting Gong Sunzan for more than half a year. In the end, except for killing Gong Sunzan, he did not get any benefits at all. Not only did he not get any benefits, but even in the end they were also driven out of Yuzhu by King Bingjian's army and suffered heavy losses. Now King Bingjian sent more than 50,000 troops including Beima Yikong to attack Yuan Shao. Judging from the strength of both sides, Yuan Shao is obviously not the opponent of King Bingjian Lu Feng, and it may not be long before, even Yuzhu will be captured by King Bingjian. And Lu Buletin currently controls Bingzhou, and Bingzhou Wolf Cavalry has been restored. Although according to the strong strength shown by Bingzhou Wolf Cavalry before, coupled with Lu Buletin's own bravery and invincibility, it would be difficult for all the princes in the world to resist. However, due to the existence of King Bingjian, whether it is the combat effectiveness of his army, his generals, or his personal force, it is still difficult for Lu Buletin to fight against King Bingjian. Therefore, I think it is impossible for Lu Buletin to defeat King Bingjian in the end. Sooner or later Bingzhou will become the bag of King Bingjian. Liu Bei listened to Su Shu's analysis and felt that it made sense, so he said what Yuanji means is that the entire north will be ruled by Lu Feng. Su Shu nodded. Said exactly. Cao must have seen this a long time ago, so he took advantage of Cao Song's death to attack Suzhu so crazily. I believe that Cao must have planned to develop southward in order to avoid King Bingjian. And if he wants to develop to Jiangdong, Suzhu is the only place to pass from Qingzhou to Jiangdong, so Cao will definitely capture Suzhu at all costs. Therefore, neither the north nor Suzhu is suitable for the development of the Lord. And Cao went to the south. The only one who has the ability to compete with Cao is Jiangdong Tiger Sun Jian. There was no place suitable for the development of the Lord in the south. After Cao arrives in Yangzhou, he may have a battle with Sun Jian to decide the final ruler of Yangzhou. As for the two of them, it can be said that they both represent the princes with the strongest combat power in the world today, except for the King Bingjian. Sun Jian himself was a first-rate military general and always took the lead in every battle, so his troops were very brave. Coupled with his three generals Cheng Piyu, Han Dang, and Huang Gai, their combat effectiveness was pretty good. Moreover, Sun Jian has occupied Jiangdong for many years, and his army has made great achievements in water warfare, which can be said to have a favorable geographical location. However, Cao was far superior to Sun Jian in terms of talents. Not only did his military commanders have top-level combat capabilities such as Su Chu and the Xiahe brothers, but his counselors were also far superior to Sun Jian. In particular, Sun Yu, who was born in the Sun family of Ying Chuan, is top-notch in planning and deploying battles, and my friend Eleven's He in Ying Chuan is even more good at making clever plans. As the saying goes, the geographical advantage is not as good as the people, so I think CAO will win in the end. Once CAO captured Yangzhou in Jiangdong, his next target must be Jingzhou in order to confront King Pingjian. Once we have Jingzhou, we can advance northward to attack Jizhu and Yuzhu, and when we retreat, we can rely on the natural dangers of the Yangtze River to resist Lu Feng's army. Therefore, CAO in Jingzhou is bound to win, and it is not suitable for the development of the Lord. Therefore, in the end, only Yizhu was left. However, Yizhu is very suitable for the Lord. According to Sima Gong's historical records, Yizhu is located in Guanzhong, occupying the second pass of Vihan on the left, with the land of Longshu on the right, fertile fields thousands of miles away, the richness of Bashu in the south, and the convenience of Huiyuan in the north. Block 3 sides and defend them, and use one side to control the princes from the east. The princes will be stable. The rivers, Wei and Cao can control the world and feed the capital to the west. The princes have changed, and if they go down the river, they will be defeated. This so-called Golden City thousands of miles away is also the land of abundant heaven. If the Lord occupies Yizhu, he can temporarily stop worrying about the wars among the various princes in the Central Plains region, and can only develop his own power with peace of mind. Relying on the dangers of the Shu Road, it is difficult for various princes to interfere with the development of the Lord. However, Lu Yan is too stubborn and not aggressive enough. The Lord can replace him. Based on Yizhu, we will definitely be able to develop rapidly. By then, we can seize Jingzhou, look forward to Liangzhou, and rule with side by side. Cao will divide the world. After hearing Su Shu's plan, Liu Bei suddenly felt enlightened. He held Su Shu's hand and refused to let go for a long time. At the same time, Liu Bei said that since ancient times, loyalty and filial piety are difficult to have both. When Yuan Ji went here, he not only saved your mother, but also to practice filial piety. And this time he advised me to determine my future development and vowed not to advise Cao. Isn't this the embodiment of loyalty? It's a pity that I can no longer have a drink and chat with Yuan Ji in the future and work together for a great cause. Su Shu was very moved after hearing Liu Bei's words. However, for the sake of his mother, he cruelly refused Liu Bei's offer to stay and went to Yanzhou. Liu Bei rode Su Shu 10 miles out of the city, but in the end he had to say goodbye with tears. After Su Shu left, Liu Bei took Su Shu. He told Guan Yu and Zhang Fei about the plan he made. Zhang Fei didn't understand strategy and would follow as long as the two brothers decided. Guan Yu also believed that Su Shu's suggestion was very feasible, and Cao's army might come again at any time. In order to avoid a long night and many dreams, Liu Bei quietly left Xiapai with Guan and Zhang that night and headed to Yizhu through Yizhou. Without Liu Bei, Chen Deng and others could not stop Cao, and Cao eventually occupied Suzhou. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 233. Liu Bei left Xiapai overnight. Only Mizu knew about it and did not alert anyone else. In history, after Liu Bei took over Tao Qian's position and became Suzhou Mu, Mizu married his sister Mi Huan to Liu Bei in order to establish a relationship with the new Suzhou Mu Liu Bei and provide convenience for his family. In addition to the Mi family, Liu Bei used his personal charm and benevolence, combined with his status as a clan member of the Han dynasty, to gain the recognition of some Suzhou scribes, including Jianyang and Sun Qian. So when Liu Bei was defeated by Lu Buletin and fled Suzhou, he took Mi Zhu and Mi Fang, as well as Jianyang and Sun Qian with him. But because of the emergence of Lu Feng in this life, although history is still developing according to the original main line, many deviations have inevitably occurred. For example, at this time, because Liu Bei had not taken over Suzhou for a long time and had not had much interaction with the local gentry in Suzhou, Mi Zhu naturally did not marry his sister to him. In addition to Mi Zhu, Liu Bei, who had been fighting, did not have time to establish a good relationship with Jianyang and Sun Qian. Therefore, when Liu Bei left Xiapai at this time, he was not followed by Suzhou celebrities such as Mi Zhu, Jianyang, and Sun Qian. He only left with his two younger brothers Guan Yu and Zhang Fei and the troops he had brought with him before. However, although the contact time with Liu Bei was not long, Mi Zhu still had a keen vision as an excellent businessman. He saw that Liu Bei was different, and firmly believed that although Liu Bei had been repeatedly frustrated at this time and still had no place to gain a foothold in his wasted half of his life, he had a momentum of never giving up. Therefore, Mi Zhu believes that Liu Bei is only temporarily in peace at this time, and sooner or later he will return to the mountains and forests one day. And he has heard that Su Shu pointed out the direction of development for Liu Bei before leaving. He believes that it won't be long before Liu Bei can use it. And when that time comes, Liu Bei will surely show his ability, become a blockbuster, and even become one of the top princes in this troubled world. At this time, Liu Bei had to flee due to Cao's relationship, and was at a low point in his life. As the saying goes, it is easier to add icing on the cake than to offer help in times of trouble. Mi Zhu deliberately formed a good relationship with this future hero to make herself have a good impression in his heart. Therefore, Mi Zhu decided to give Liu Bei some help when he was at a low point. So after learning the news of Liu Bei's departure, Mi Zhu specially sent Liu Bei a large amount of money and food. This food and grass is enough for Liu Bei's 1,000 soldiers for 3 months, and the money is enough for Liu Bei to recruit another 5,000 troops. Liu Bei was deeply moved by Mi Zhu's gift and said that once he achieves something in the future, he will definitely return the gift double. Liu Bei left Xiapai for Yizhou, and Su Shu soon arrived at Yanzhou. Su Shu met his mother in the house prepared by Cao for Su's mother. Su Shu was originally very worried that Cao would imprison his mother in order to threaten him along the way. However, when he arrived at the mansion and saw that his mother was not only very free, but also treated with courtesy by Cao, Su Shu finally felt relieved. However, through communication with his mother, Su Shu discovered that the letter he received was forged by Cao, and he was still a little angry. But when I thought about it, Cao's plan was an honest conspiracy. He didn't use any tricks, and he didn't even threaten to abuse his mother if he didn't come. But he knew that once he came to Yanzhou, he would never be able to leave, but he still had to come. Compared to threatening his mother's life, Cao's approach still made Su Shu feel a little relieved. However, since he already regarded Liu Bei as the master of his life and had sworn an oath in person, Su Shu decided to pretend to be crazy and not make any plans for Cao. Cao was very helpless about this, and he sent 11's He several times to persuade Su Shu. Su Shu knew that his mother could get preferential treatment from Cao, and 11's He's mediation was indispensable, so he expressed enough goodwill to his classmate and hoped to let Cao know his determination through 11's He's words. 11's He also knew Su Shu's character. After learning about Su Shu's agreement with Liu Bei, he stopped talking and returned to Cao to tell Cao all Su Shu's thoughts. After hearing this, Cao was very helpless and sighed to 11's He Lu Suand is a defeated general. He has accomplished nothing at a young age, but there are always capable people willing to serve for him. In the past, there was Guan Yunchang, and now Su Yuanzi. What does he have? What charm can attract so many people to be loyal to him? 11's He listened to Cao's emotion and said, although I don't know the reason, there must be something special about him being able to attract so many talented people. There are many heroes in the world who are friendly. My lord must also be careful about this Liu Bei. Cao deeply believed in 11's He's words. As for Su Shu, although he is unwilling to make suggestions for himself, killing such a talent will definitely cause dissatisfaction among many people. So Cao asked 11's He, Su Shu is your classmate, how do you think I should deal with him? 11's He said, the reason Yuan is resisting my lord now is because he already belongs to Liu Bei, and my lord he deceived him from Liu Bei's hands. And although he swore to Liu Bei not to advise his lord, with his talents, even if he did not become an advisor, he could still make certain achievements in domestic affairs. Therefore, his subordinates thought that he should be sent to Liu Bei first. He was placed under house arrest in Yanzhou. After waiting for a while, he figured out that the Lord could make him a county magistrate or other internal affairs official, so that he would not break his oath. Cao listened to 11's He's suggestion and laughed. He said, He is indeed my son. All my doubts will be cleared once you explain it. The war between Cao and Liu Bei in Suzhou has come to an end, and Sun Jian in Jiangdong is fighting with Liu Biao in Jingzhou. While continuing to fight, he also paid close attention to Suzhou's movements. When Cao sent his troops south again and finally captured Suzhou, Sun Jian realized that Cao might have set his sights on the south. Therefore, for strategic needs, Sun Jian put his personal emotions behind, temporarily stopped fighting with Liu Biao, and instead led his army to sweep through the counties in Yangzhou. Since there were not many powerful princes in Yangzhou, and Sun Jian himself was powerful, he soon controlled the entire Yangzhou with thunderous power. At the same time, Han Sui and Ma Teng in Liangzhou once again had internal strife over their interests, and the two sides prepared to fight. So Lu Feng ordered Ma Chao to take 3,000 Dragon City cavalry through the Xianbei territory to Liangzhou, and jointly attacked Han Sui with his father Ma Teng. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 234. After Cao captured Suzhou, his original plan was to take advantage of Sun Jian's attack on Jingzhou and fight with Liu Biao to directly go south and capture Yangzhou. However, because Sun Jian saw through Cao's plan and temporarily put aside his grievances with Liu Biao, he led his army to conquer the counties of Yangzhou and unify the entire Yangzhou, so Cao had to suspend his march south. In this regard, Cao decided to temporarily rest his army in Suzhou. At the same time, because Yangzhou has many waters and crisscrossed rivers, water battles will inevitably occur, so it is necessary to step up time to train the navy army. After Sun Jian unified Yangzhou, he urgently recruited a large number of soldiers from various counties because he was worried that Cao would directly go south to fight with him. However, due to time constraints, although the number of the army was sufficient, the combat effectiveness could not be guaranteed, so Sun Jian was still very worried. But Cao's temporary rest relieved Sun Jian and gave him time to breathe. At the same time, he also took this time to intensify the training of these newly recruited soldiers to ensure that they would maintain combat effectiveness in the war that could start at any time. Precisely because both Cao and Sun Jian lacked confidence in the combat effectiveness of their soldiers, they stopped attacking at the same time and began to train soldiers, causing Yangzhou and Suzhou to enter a strange calm. At the same time, on the battlefield in Liangzhou, Ma Teng and Han Sui were still evenly matched. The two sides fought for several days, with each winning or losing. Ma Teng had Pang De, a first-class general under his command, and Ma Yuan, the general of Fubo, had lived in Ziliang for generations. They had fought against the Jiang people for many years and had rich combat experience. Therefore, Ma Teng's army is slightly stronger than Han Sui's army in combat effectiveness. However, Han Sui also had a first-rate military general named Yan Xing, who was not inferior to Ma Teng in terms of supreme force, but the combat effectiveness of his soldiers was slightly inferior to Ma Teng's army. However, Han Sui was a very scheming person. Unlike Ma Teng, who only knew how to fight openly, Han Sui knew that Ma Teng was not his opponent in a direct confrontation, so he often cheated in secret. Therefore, although Han Sui's army was inferior to Ma Teng in terms of combat effectiveness, with some small planning, it was able to fight on a par with Ma Teng. However, the balance between the two armies was instantly shattered with the arrival of Ma Chao. Although Ma Chao came to support his father Ma Teng, he only brought 3,000 cavalry. But these 3,000 cavalry are not only heavy cavalry with powerful combat capabilities, but also the world-famous Dragon City cavalry. Therefore, although Ma Chao's reinforcements were only 3,000 men, to Ma Teng and Han Sui, these 3,000 cavalry were no less intimidating than the 30,000 army, or even more powerful than the 30,000 army. After all, if there were only 30,000 ordinary troops, Han Sui would face greater pressure in terms of military strength, but there would always be a solution. However, Han Sui had no way to defeat the enemy, as the Dragon City Iron Cavalry was a king's division that was several levels higher than Han Sui's army. So when Ma Teng saw Ma Chao and the 3,000 Dragon City cavalry he led, he was so happy that he couldn't open his mouth from ear to ear. After hearing the news, Han Sui frowned and even thought of surrendering directly. But his general Yan Xing persuaded, even if Ma Chao leads 3,000 Dragon City cavalry, there is nothing to be afraid of. Our opponent is Ma Teng, not Lu Feng. Although Ma Chao is Ma Teng's son, his army is Lu Feng's, so Ma Teng will definitely be on guard against the Dragon City cavalry. Maybe he will worry that Lu Feng, in the name of supporting him, will take the opportunity to surrender him after defeating us, thereby taking control of Liangzhou. Therefore, his subordinates think that Ma Teng they may not fully cooperate with Ma Chao. Without the help of Ma Teng and Pang De, Ma Chao, a child less than 10 years old, would not have the ability to lead troops in combat. Although the Dragon City cavalry in his hands is powerful in combat, without a good the commander-in-chief's command will not pose a threat to us. And if there are subordinates, they will definitely let the Lord defeat the Dragon City Iron Cavalry, and let the princes of the world see that the Dragon City Iron Cavalry they talk about is just a defeated general of the Lord. Yan, seeing his words, gave Han Sui great confidence, letting him put aside all his worries and determined to fight Ma Chao and Ma Teng to the death. However, Yan Xing's guess did not come true. Lu Feng had already guessed that because of the strength of the Dragon City cavalry, Ma Teng might even be worried. Therefore, he told Ma Chao to state his position as soon as possible after meeting Ma Teng, and at the same time form an alliance with Ma Teng. Being able to form an alliance with Lu Feng, the most powerful prince in the world today, and Lu Feng is also his son's master and will definitely not harm him, Ma Teng naturally agreed without any worries. The next day, Ma Chao personally went into battle and commanded 3,000 Dragon City cavalry to attack Yan Xing. Yan Xing did not take the 9-year-old Ma Chao seriously and stepped forward to challenge him. However, once they met, Yan Xing discovered that Ma Chao's martial arts, which he hadn't seen for several months, had improved so quickly that he had the strength to fight him. Ma Teng saw Ma Chao and Yan Xing duel and was worried that Ma Chao would make a mistake, so he sent Pang De to help. As a result, Pang De and Ma Chao joined forces and killed Yan Xing in 10 rounds. Without Yan Xing to command the battle, Han Sui's army was suddenly defeated, and even he himself was stabbed to death by Ma Chao. At this point, Ma Teng finally took Liangzhou into his own hands. At the same time, Zhao Yun, who had long been ordered by Lu Feng to lead 3,000 White Horse Yukon and 50,000 Yuzhu troops, and with the assistance of Dian Wei and 3,000 dragon soldiers, went south to Jizhu to attack Yuan Shao, also started a fierce battle with Yuan Shao. When Yuan Shao killed Gong Sun Zan and was repelled by Lu Feng's army and rushed back to Jizhu, He had already guessed that Lu Feng would attack Jizhu for revenge against Gongsun Zan. Therefore, he was well prepared and sent his generals Yan Liang and Wen Zhou as commanders, along with generals such as Chu Yi and Zhang He, with Shen Pei and Guo Tu as counselors, to resist Zhao Yun at Panhe. During the battle, He still faced Beima Yikong in the same way as he defeated Gongsun Zan in the Battle of Jaiqiao. However, the reorganized Beima Yikong not only replenished their numbers to the normal level, but also advanced to the 7th level of the King's division after Lu Feng's transfer. Therefore, not only their combat effectiveness has been greatly improved, but their equipment has also been strengthened. The bows and arrows of the Xiandenqi cannot penetrate their armor at all. Therefore, when the two sides fought, Beima Yikong rushed into the Xiandenqi formation and killed all the opponents with just one charge. Beima Yikong led by Zhao Yun was invincible, and Dian Wei's Longwu soldiers were equally unstoppable. Under the joint attack of these two troops, the reinforcements retreated steadily, suffering heavy casualties. Fortunately, two super generals, Yan Liang and Wen Zhou, came into battle in time and resisted Zhao Yun and Dian Wei. Generals such as Zhang He and Gao Lan also resisted the offensive of Long Wuzu and Beima Yikong under the command of counselors such as Shen Pei and Zhu Shu. At the same time, Guo Jia saw the plans of Cao and 11's He, concluded that Cao was going south, and suggested that Lu Feng lead troops from the Bohai Sea to attack Qingzhou. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 235. He led his army into the Bohai Sea and attacked the enemy across the sea. Such a combat plan was absolutely impossible to realize at the time. Because the industry at that time was not developed, especially after Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty deposed hundreds of schools of thought and only respected Confucianism, the entire Han Dynasty had been dominated by Confucianism for 400 years. In the eyes of Confucius, the founder of Confucianism, only benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faith are serious knowledge. As for scientific and technological innovation and manufacturing, Confucius regarded them as wonderful skills and obscene skills. So few people want to learn technical knowledge like manufacturing. And the professions of the world are divided into 3, 6, or 9 levels according to scholars, farmers, industry and commerce, and the status of various scientific and technological personnel is even lower than that of businessmen. Even doctors and healers who treat illnesses and save lives have been classified as the lowest professions. Coupled with the Confucian doctrine of the mean, people are more willing to follow the rules and repeat the path that has been paved by predecessors, and no one is willing to research something that can innovate. Therefore, the shipbuilding technology at that time was not enough to allow warships to travel in the sea. This is mainly because due to limited thinking, people have always believed that only flat-bottomed boats can float and maintain balance in the water without tipping over. This kind of flat-bottomed boat can indeed meet people's travel needs in rivers and lakes or support naval battles, but it cannot be used in the sea. The waves on the sea are so majestic that they can stir up 3-foot waves even when there is no wind, not to mention that when there is wind, the waves will only get bigger. Moreover, the wind on the sea is stronger than that on the land. A flat-bottomed ship will only cover a very shallow layer in the sea. If the wind and waves are strong, it will be easily blown over or scattered by the waves. Therefore, even though some states and counties are only separated by a sea, no princes have ever thought of attacking across the sea. But the problem of shipbuilding is not a difficult problem for Lu Feng, because there are living professions in his job transfer hall, including builder. Therefore, Lu Feng combined the knowledge from his previous life and proposed the concept of a keel-structured ship bottom to the shipbuilder. The deck of a pointed bottom sea-going ship is flat, the side of the ship is cut like a blade, and the cross-section of the ship is V-shaped. There is a keel running through the bow and stern under the pointed bottom boat to support the hull and make the boat stronger. It also has a deep draft and strong ability to withstand wind and waves. The shipbuilder immediately understood the principle upon hearing this, and based on Lu Feng's suggestion, he built a warship that could go to sea. The largest warship at that time was a building ship, which was no more than 4 stories high. Any higher would easily cause it to roll over due to unstable ground. However, Lu Feng's warships are more stable due to the addition of a keel structure, so they can be built higher and larger. If there is a water battle with other princes, they can directly ram the enemy's warships with the ship and ram them. Broken. Therefore, the shipbuilders tripled the height of the warship and built 8 decks on the ship to transport more soldiers. It was with such warships that Guojia suggested Lu Feng attack Qingzhou by water. Moreover, Guojia had already guessed Cao and 11's Hekai's plan to plan the south, so he concluded that if Cao wanted to develop to the south, Qingzhou in the north would most likely give up the strategy. Because the battle line is too long, it is not only inconvenient to convey orders, but also wastes a lot of manpower and cannot concentrate troops to attack Yangzhou. Therefore, Lu Feng can definitely seize this opportunity and take Qingzhou into his pocket. Lu Feng naturally accepted Guojia's suggestion without hesitation. Lu Feng immediately took the Red Blood Dragon riders, Longbowmen, and 30,000 troops across the Bohai Sea by boat to launch an attack on Qingzhou. Lu Feng's army crossed the Bohai Sea and arrived in Qingzhou. The first place they landed was Donglei County, so Lu Feng decided to capture Donglei nearby. So Lu Feng handed over the command of 30,000 troops to Tai Shi, and he personally led the Red Blood Dragon cavalry as the vanguard to launch a surprise attack on Huan County, Donglei County. Since no one has been able to cross the sea since ancient times, the prefect of Donglei County has always placed the guards in the county in the outer counties of Changguang, Changyang and other counties. He never thought that Huan County, the county seat inside Donglei, would be attacked. After all, before this, not to mention Changguang and other counties, even border counties such as Pingyuan County had no enemy presence. How could he have thought that there would be enemies in Donglei, which is located inside Qingzhou, with the Bohai Sea behind it? So when Lu Feng appeared outside Huangxian City with the Red Blood Dragon rider, the Donglei prefect still had no idea, and the entire Huangxian County was not alert at all. Even the city gates of Huan County were wide open, and the people of Huan County entered and exited the city gates at will without any guards checking. When Lu Feng saw that Huan County's city defense was so lax, the corners of his mouth naturally raised, and he smiled and said to the deputy commander of his Red Blood Dragon riders, as expected by Feng Xiao, the prefect of Donglei was really unprepared. Look at this Huan County, the city gates are not even closed. We can directly enter the city and capture Huan County and control the city defense before Zi's army arrives. After hearing Lu Feng's words, the deputy commander of the Scarlet Blood Dragon riders clasped his fists and said, Commander Guo has all his plans, and my lord is well commanded. Governor Donglei is no match for us. Please give me your order. I am willing to lead the brothers of the Red Blood Dragon riders to be the first to enter the city, control the city defense for my lord, and capture Donglei alive. Prefect Lai. Lu Feng said with a smile, since I personally brought you here, I naturally want to join the battle with you. After saying that, Lu Feng gave the order and rushed out first. Lu Feng's warhorse is a black jade unicorn, which is comparable to the top warhorse of Red Rabbit. The horses ridden by the 3,000 Red Blood Dragon warriors are also trained by professional horse trainers at the Goguryeo Horse Training Farm, and are much faster than ordinary war horses. So when the defenders of Huan County heard the rumble of horse hooves and looked up to find a cavalry unit of 3,000 men rushing towards them, it was already too late. They hurriedly got down from the city wall and ran down to the city to close the city gate. However, the people of Huan County who were constantly coming in and out of the city gate saw the Red Blood Dragon riding towards them and fled into the city regardless. The disorganized people continued to flee into the city, but they hindered the defenders from closing the city gate. Seeing that the enemy cavalry was about to arrive, the defenders of Huan County no longer waited for the people outside the city to enter the city, and prepared to close the city gate directly. The people who were escaping into the city blocked the route to close the door. In desperation, the defenders slashed at the unarmed people with their swords. When Lu Feng saw this, he was immediately furious. With an order, the red-blooded dragon riders took off their bows and arrows and shot at the defenders. After a round of shooting, the city gate defenders were driven back, and Lu Feng had already arrived at the bottom of the city. So he left 2,000 red-blooded dragon knights to fight with the city defenders and control the city defense, while he himself took the remaining 1,000 people to kill to the prefect's mansion. The unprepared governor Dong Lei was beheaded on the spot in his bedroom, and Lu Feng captured Huan County without bloodshed. Then Taishi Ci arrived with Long Baomen and an army of 30,000 people, and Lu Feng led the army to attack other cities in Donglei County with lightning speed. Within 7 days, all the cities in Donglei were captured. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 236. As all the cities in Donglei were conquered by Lu Feng, the entire Donglei County was also in Lu Feng's hands. In just 7 days, an entire county was captured. Lu Feng's speed was so fast that Cao, who was far away in Suzhou, had no time to react. If Donglei can delay for a little longer, Cao can definitely mobilize his troops and strengthen his defense to resist Lu Feng's attack. But it was a pity that Lu Feng's attack was so fast that Cao had just received news of the fall of Huan County, and Lu Feng had already captured the entire territory of Donglei the next day. In this regard, Cao, who had long known that Lu Feng's army was powerful, could only accept this reality helplessly, but he had no intention of fighting back. However, Cao knew the huge gap in strength between the two sides and did not dare to fight back. However, Cao was still very concerned about how to defend the other counties in Qingzhou. So after he learned that all of Donglei had been lost, he immediately found 11's He and discussed with him how to resist Lu Feng. 11's He thought about Cao's thoughts seriously for a long time, and then said, "Lord, give up Qingzhou after." 11's He finished speaking, Cao's eyes widened in disbelief and asked, "Abandon Qingzhou?" Qingzhou too, there are 65 counties in the 4 kingdoms. Lu Feng has only captured 1 county in Donglei. The reason why he captured Donglei so quickly was mainly because they came across the sea and attacked Huan County first. Huan County. After the fall, the governor of Donglei was killed, leaving the entire Donglei group without a leader. That's why Lu Feng captured Donglei so quickly. But now that we already know that Lu Feng is in Donglei and intends to capture the entire territory of Qingzhou, then as long as we do everything in advance, prepare, strengthen the defense, and not give him any opportunity to take advantage of, I think we can stop him as much as possible. 11's He listened to Cao's words, shook his head and said, "My lord, what do you think is the combat effectiveness of King Bingjian and his army?" Although Cao did not, he knew why 11's He didn't answer his own question, but asked such an obvious question, but out of trust in him, he still answered, "The king of Bingjian is a hero in the world. Not only is he talented and broad, but he also has great vision and means. Yes, and his martial arts is definitely one of the best in the world. Even Lu Buledin, who is unparalleled in the world, was defeated by him. And when the princes challenged Dong, I saw with my own eyes the battle between him and Lu Bu. Both of them were able to defeat him. His own murderous aura condenses into essence and kills the enemy. The state of this peerless general is really not something ordinary people can compete with. As for his army, it is invincible to the existence of today's world. Not to mention the initial confrontation with him, the Dragon City Iron Cavalry, known to the world together with the great Han Dynasty Dragon General, has long been famous all over the world. Just talking about his current bodyguards, the Red Blood Dragon Cavalry, The combat effectiveness is really terrifying. That day, he fought with Lu Buledin in front of Hulao Pass. Lu Buledin's Bingzhou Wolf cavalry. The charge was unstoppable. Facing the wolf cavalry's charge, all of us princes felt a despair as if they were falling into a wolf's den. It can be said that no matter which army in the world fought against the Bingzhou Wolf cavalry, they would definitely suffer a disastrous defeat, but the Red Blood Dragon riders actually withstood their charge with ease, and even killed nearly half of the wolf riders without a single blow. According to the scouts' battle report, this time Lu Feng personally conquered Qingzhou, with the Red Blood Dragon riders as the vanguard. 11 Ji just listened to Cao's words and said with a smile, "So, my lord should be very aware of the strength of King Bingjian." Cao said, "That's natural. I thought about it when he defeated Wu Huan alone. He admired him very much. Later, I suppressed the Yellow Turban uprising and crusade against Dongzhou, and I fought side by side with him many times. It can be said that when the emperor was before me, I always regarded King Bingjian as a role model and benchmark. Now that the world is in chaos, I regard King Bingjian as the biggest his opponent." 11's He said with a smile, "Since the Lord knows that King Bingjian is powerful, even if he makes preparations in Qingzhou, it will only delay him from taking Qingzhou, so why must he waste his troops to stop him? Although if we send more reinforcements to Qingzhou, we can slow down the king of side by side, slow down his capture of Qingzhou, and give our army more time to fight Yangzhou. However, this will cause our army's battle line to be too long and our troops will not be able to concentration. The superiors could not completely resist Lu Feng's attack, drive him out of Qingzhou and regain the lost territory, and the subordinates could not concentrate their forces to attack Yangzhou and open up new territories as quickly as possible. But if we abandon Qingzhou and use all the troops originally defending Qingzhou to attack Yangzhou, won't we get twice the result with half the effort and be able to capture Yangzhou faster?" After hearing 11's He's explanation, Cao still felt unacceptable for spitting out the Qingzhou he had eaten. So he then asks, He's words are correct, but our army gave up when Lu Feng attacked Qingzhou. Qingzhou, if Lu Feng attacks Yangzhou again in the future, will we have to give up Yangzhou? 11's He said, "Of course not. Giving up Qingzhou was not because we were afraid of being king together, but just to win Yangzhou faster, because in terms of position, Yangzhou was more important than Qingzhou. Qingzhou is just a springboard for the Lord at the beginning, helping the Lord have a place to use his skills, and gathering Qingzhou in exchange for remnants to form Qingzhou soldiers. But it is undeniable that Qingzhou is not very rich in products, and the counties are not rich, so they can no longer provide much help to the Lord. But Yangzhou is different. First of all, there are many water systems in the location, which is easy to defend but difficult to attack. There is also the natural danger of the Yangtze River to defend. Most of the Bingjian kings are cavalry and there is no navy. Yangzhou is the best place to resist the Bingjian king. Moreover, Yangzhou is rich in products and warm, and crops are harvested twice a year. It is a natural land of fish and rice, which can ensure the supply of logistical food and grass for the Lord. Therefore, with Yangzhou, the Lord no longer has to worry about attacks from other princes and has the ability to develop alone. Moreover, even if Lu Feng gets Qingzhou, he will not go south directly to follow us to snatch Suzhou and Yangzhou, because there is still Yuanshao as an obstacle in the north. Even if King Bingjian wants to go south, he must wait until Yuanshao is eliminated and Jizhu is included in his pocket. My lord, everything must be sacrificed to achieve something. Please think twice, Lord." After hearing 11's He's analysis, Cao suddenly felt enlightened, so he no longer worried about the gains and losses of Qingzhou. He moved the Qingzhou army and almost all the direct forces still in Qingzhou to Suzhou, preparing to concentrate his forces to attack Yangzhou. However, in order to prevent Lu Feng from following him south, Cao still left Li Dian to guard Jinan County to block the king's army. 3 kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 237. The Qingzhou defenders knew that King Bingjian had begun to attack Qingzhou, and also knew how powerful his army was. They no longer wanted to stay in Qingzhou to resist the Red Blood Dragon Riders and the Yuzhu army. Therefore, as soon as Cao's order for them to retreat came, they couldn't wait to pack their things and prepare to go to Suzhou. However, even if they were anxious to retreat, they did not panic. Under the command of Li Jin and other generals who stayed in Qingzhou, the Qingzhou army packed up all the food, grass, and baggage they could take away and brought it to Suzhou, leaving nothing for Lu Feng to use except the territory. Lu Feng had long known about the Qingzhou army's movements. In fact, Cao's order reached Linzi County, the seat of Qingzhou. Just when the Governor Jin ordered the army to withdraw to Suzhou, the Qingzhou branch of Longchen newspaper had already found out about the news and quickly passed it on to Lu Feng. Lu Feng was not surprised by this. As Guojia said, since Cao has decided to go to the south for development, it would be a pity to abandon Qingzhou in the north. Therefore, Lu Feng has been stationing troops in Donglei County and has not continued to send troops to seize the Suzhou army's supplies and food. After all, as long as I stay in Donglei with peace of mind, the entire Qingzhou will be captured in a few days, and there will be no need to waste any more soldiers. But if we go to snatch the Qingzhou army's food and grass at this time, we will inevitably have a battle with the Qingzhou army. Lu Feng already had a special grain base in Goguryeo County. The grain grown by the transferred farmers was far more nutritious than the grain stolen from Cao. Therefore, Lu Feng did not bother to snatch the Qingzhou army's food and grass. What's more, Lu Feng attacked Qingzhou only for King Hu's territory, not to attack Cao. Cao did not fight with himself and took the initiative to withdraw from Qingzhou, which obviously gave himself enough face, and he also needed food and grass to attack Yangzhou. Lu Feng respected Cao as a real hero in troubled times and was willing to fight him fairly, so he did not want him to be unable to capture Yangzhou and lose development due to lack of food and grass. Besides, I was confident that I could easily defeat Cao even in a head-on battle, so I didn't want to hinder Cao in terms of food and grass. Based on the above reasons, Lu Feng did not take advantage of the Qingzhou army's retreat to attack, but allowed them to leave safely. After Cao's Qingzhou army arrived in Suzhou, he prepared to lead his army south to attack Yangzhou. But 11's He stopped him again. Cao was very puzzled by this. He asks He, didn't you say that we should concentrate our forces to attack Yangzhou, capture Yangzhou as soon as possible and then develop our own power? Why do you suggest that now that all the troops have been concentrated here? Did I immediately send troops to attack Sun Jian? 11's He replied, since our army attacks Suzhou at all costs, Sun Jian has been aware of our army's intentions. So he put aside his conflict with Lu Biao of Jingzhou and led the army instead. Na unified the entire Yangzhou. Now, Sun Jian has unified Yangzhou for some time. He is already very popular in Jiangdong. After this period of consolidation, Yangzhou must have been made impregnable by him. Therefore, if our army attacks at this time, Yangzhou will definitely suffer heavy losses. In addition, just as our army wants to use Yangzhou to defend the king of side by side, Yangzhou has many waters, and Sun Jian's navy has been practicing in Jiangdong all year round. Its combat effectiveness is far beyond the capabilities of our army's temporarily formed navy to compete with each other. So this is not the best time to attack Yangzhou. After listening to 11's He's words, Cao frowned and asked, in that case, based on He's suggestion, when can we attack Yangzhou? He said, today, the only one who can compete with Sun Jian's Jiangdong navy is Lu Biao's Jingzhou navy. Moreover, because of Yuan Shao's instigation, Lu Biao ambushed Sun Jian when he returned from the feudal princes to attack the Dong coalition. causing Sun Jian's general Xiu Mao to die in battle to save Sun Jian. Therefore, Sun Jian and Liu Biao became enemies. After such a long period of attacking each other, it can be said that it has become a life or death situation. Therefore, our army can use this opportunity to form an alliance with Liu Biao, jointly attack Yangzhou. With Jingzhou Navy holding back Sun Jian's navy, our army can fight Sun Jian on land, and only in this way can we defeat Sun Jian. After hearing 11's Hekai's plan, Cao not only clapped his hands and applauded. After all, Sun Jian is a tiger from the east of the Yangtze River. Although the civil servants and generals under his command are not as good as himself, after all, he occupies a favorable location. If he wants to defeat him alone, it will still take some effort. But with Liu Biao's help, it would be much easier to defeat Sun Jian. So Cao agreed to 11's Hekai's plan, and 11's Hekai decided to go to Jingzhou in person to lobby Liu Biao, so that Liu Biao and Cao would join forces and jointly send troops to attack Yangzhou. On the other side, after renovating in Donglei County for a period of time, Lu Feng was ready to lead his army on a westward expedition again, and his first goal was Bihai. Although Cao has abandoned Qingzhou and will withdraw the army that stayed in Qingzhou. However, Cao withdrew only his direct lineage, that is, Yu Jin, Li Jin and others who regarded him as the Lord, and the Qingzhou soldiers who were conquered by Qingzhou Yellow Turbans. Local officials in Qingzhou, such as the Prime Minister of Bihai and the Prime Minister of Qi, were not direct descendants of Cao, but were appointed by Emperor Ling of the Han Dynasty, so they did not evacuate with Cao. The Prime Minister of Bihai Kingdom was Kong Rong, a famous scholar of the Eastern Han Dynasty. Lu Feng's understanding of Kong Rong came more from the three-character sutra Rong 4 years old can make pairs, and he also knew that he was a descendant of Confucius. In fact, Kong Rong was the 20th grandson of Confucius. He was not only extremely intelligent since he was a child, but also had outstanding literary talent. He was one of the 7 sons of Jianan. In addition, the relationship between Kong Rong and Taishi Ci was also very good. Taishi Ci was a native of Donglei County, Qingzhou, not far from Kong Rong's Bihai Kingdom. In his early years, Taishi Ci had rifts with officials in Donglei due to some trivial matters. Kong Rong had long heard that Taishi Ci was a man of righteousness and excellent in martial arts, so he took great care of Taishi Ci's family and helped Taishi Ci's mother many times when Taishi Ci was not at home. Therefore, Taishi Ci was grateful to Kong Rong and did not want Lu Feng to meet Taishi Ci. So he said to Lu Feng, "My lord, Kong Bihai is a famous person today and a descendant of Confucius. He has an excellent reputation among the people. Moreover, he has rescued Ci's old mother many times. I can't bear to fight with Kong Bihai at this time when we meet each other. I would like to be alone in Bihai to persuade him to surrender to the Lord." Lu Feng was naturally very happy to be able to capture Bihai without spending a single soldier, so he agreed to Taishi Ci's request and sent him into Bihai to persuade Kong Rong to surrender. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 238. Taishi Ci won Lu Feng's consent and entered Bihai alone to seek an audience with Kong Rong. When Kong Rong learned that Taishi Ci had arrived, he was naturally very happy. He invited him to the reception room and prepared wine and food for him, ready to have a good chat. Taishi Ci knew that as a descendant of Confucius, Kong Rong had deep-rooted loyalty to the emperor. His Bihai prime minister was appointed by the former Hanling Emperor Lu Hong, so he would naturally only be loyal to the orthodox king of the Han dynasty. Therefore, even though Cao proclaimed himself the shepherd of Qingzhou, Kong Rong did not give in and still regarded himself as a Han minister. Cao was also very angry about this and wanted to get rid of Kong Rong several times, but he had to give up because Kong Rong's reputation was too great and he was worried that if he killed him, he would be reviled and criticized by the world. So before coming, Taishi Ci was quite uneasy. After all, Lord Lu Feng's attack on Qingzhou at this time had not been approved by the court in a strict sense. Therefore, he was afraid that Kong Rong would be too pedantic and would not submit to Lu Feng. He would not even see him and would not give him a chance to defend himself. In this way, Lu Feng could only use force to attack Bihai. According to Kong Rong's character, he would definitely not obey Lu Feng and might even conflict with Lu Feng face to face. In this case, I can only stand by Lu Feng's side, and it is difficult to have both loyalty and justice. However, Kong Rong did not let Taishi Ci's worries come true, and still received him very warmly. Taishi Ci knew that he should not be too abrupt if he wanted to persuade Kong Rong, so he accepted his invitation, sat opposite Kong Rong, drank and chatted. After 3 rounds of drinking, the conversation between the two became more and more enthusiastic, so Taishi Ci saw that the time was ripe and took the initiative to say, Kong Bihai, Ci has now devoted himself to the service of King Bingjian. Do you know? Kong Rong listened to Taishi Ci's words. Said with a smile, I knew that the king of King Bingjian was attacking Qingzhou. You must have something to do when you come to me now. You can't help it anymore, right? Taishi Ci saw that Kong Rong had already guessed the purpose of his visit and was so enthusiastic about him, knowing that there was something going on, he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He continued, since Kong Bihai knows that King Bingjian is planning to take Qingzhou into his pocket, I wonder if you are willing to submit to King Bingjian. Kong Rong said now that Emperor Xian was killed by Li Eryu, the world was in chaos, and the princes were separatist. King Bingjian, it can be said that he is the most promising prince to unify the world today. I heard that after Taiwei Luji and the 2 generals Huang Fusong and Zhu Jun returned to Liaodong with King Bingjian, they suggested that King Bingjian inherit the mantle of the Han dynasty and ascend the throne as emperor, but he was the king refused. I don't know why King Bingjian refused. Could it be that the emperor of Han dynasty is not worthy of him? Taishi Ci was shocked when he heard this, but he quickly reacted and said, Kong Bihai's words are wrong. King Bingjian, the reason why he did not take over the position of emperor of the Han dynasty was because he felt guilty. In the past, Emperor Ling personally consulted the Han dynasty genealogy, returned King Bingjian to the Han clan, and promoted him to a higher rank many times. King Bingjian was very grateful for this. However, after Emperor Ling passed away, he failed to protect the young emperors Bian and Xiandi. As a result, the emperor no longer exists, the Han dynasty is about to fall, and the world is divided by the princes. And King Bingjing is unable to stop all this. How can he have the face to inherit the throne and enjoy the support of the people? So King Bingjian rejected the proposal of Captain Lu Ji and others, but if one day King Bingjian can unify the world and reunite the fragmented Han dynasty, he will definitely ascend the throne. After listening to Taishi Ci's words, Kong Rong lowered his head and thought for a while, and then said, so, King Bingjian doesn't want to usurp the Han dynasty and establish itself. Taishi Ci had to say exactly. Kong Rong said, in fact, the reason why I don't want to submit to King Bingjian is because I, the Prime Minister of Bihai, were granted the official position by Emperor Ling. I cannot take the official position of a big man and join other princes. Taishi Ci saw that Kong Rong's attitude was no longer as firm as before, so he continued, Kong Bihai, Ci has something to say. Although it may make you unhappy, Ci still has to say it. The reason why the world is in chaos is precisely because since the days of Huan and Ling, the court has become more and more decadent, with eunuchs in power and foreign relatives when they were in power, they even sold their official positions with the emperor's acquiescence. In this way, officials were not only the virtuous, but whoever had the money could become a high official. Therefore, after becoming an official, it is natural to intensify the exploitation of the people in order to recover the cost, causing the people's life to become more and more difficult. Therefore, the stubborn diseases of the Han dynasty can be said to have penetrated deep into the bone marrow. As the saying goes, the world is in chaos now, which is not a bad thing. Only those who win the hearts of the people will eventually win and return the world to the people. As for your sincere desire to be loyal to the Han dynasty, the orthodoxy of the Han dynasty has long since disappeared, and my lord Lu Feng is not only a clan member of the Han dynasty, but also the title of the king of side by side personally conferred by the late emperor. This throne can be said to be the clone of Emperor Ling, has the same power as Emperor Ling. So in the absence of orthodoxy, isn't King Bingjian the best substitute for the Emperor of Han? Kong Rong felt very reasonable after hearing Taishi Ci's words. Moreover, Lu Feng's reputation among the people was indeed very good. Under his governance in Liaodong County, the people's lives in these troubled times were even better than in the prosperous times of Emperor Wu of the previous Han dynasty. Thinking of this, Kong Rong finally gave up his obsession and said to Taishi Cizi, "You are right. I have figured it out. You go back and tell King Bingjian that I am willing to submit." Taishi Ci was overjoyed and hurried back. He went to Donglei to tell Lu Feng the news of Kong Rong's surrender. At this point, Lu Feng effortlessly won another victory. Because Kong Rong surrendered the entire county, both sides did not suffer any losses. In addition to Kong Rong's reputation, Lu Feng still appointed Kong Rong as Bihai Prime Minister to guard Bihai. Subsequently, Lu Feng ordered the army to make slight adjustments in Bihai. 2 days later, he went west again to attack Shi. At the same time, the battle between Yuan Shao and Lu Feng in Jizhu was also in full swing. It's just that compared to Bihai Kong Rong's easy surrender to Lu Feng, Zhao Yun and Yuan Shao had a deep hatred before, and they were definitely in a fight to the death. Because of this, Zhao Yun worked very hard in the battle, and he and Dian Wei, the two top super generals, also crushed Yan Liang, Wenzhou and others to death. Coupled with the two 7th level troops of Bama Yikong and Longwu soldiers, Yuan Shao's army retreated all the way, with almost no victory. Faced with such a passive situation, Zhou approached Yuan Shao and suggested to Yuan Shao, "My lord, the defeat of the war in Jizhu is inevitable. Therefore, my subordinates suggested strategically abandoning Jizhu, shifting the future development center to the south, and capturing Salai at the same time. Area, use the danger of Hulao Pass to resist Lu Feng and develop our own power." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 239. Yuan Shao was depressed because Zhao Yun's attack on Jizhu was not going well for his side. At this moment, he suddenly heard Zhu Shao's suggestion to abandon Jizhu and was furious. He said to Zhu Shao, "I concentrated my forces to capture Jizhu, even to the point of breaking with Gongsun Zan. The reason why Ru was attacked by Lu Feng's son was precisely because of Gongsun Zan. Not to mention that I spent a lot of time to capture Jizhu. How much effort is there? Simply speaking, this Jizhu is the first of the 9 states since the Daoding established the 9 states. Its position is special and I cannot give up easily. Besides, my Yuan family in Runan has 4 generations and 3 sons. Now it is just Lu Feng's child's offensive. At one point, I have not yet gained an absolute advantage, nor have I been completely defeated. If I retreat directly, would na Euro trademark Ti be ridiculed by everyone in the world?" Zhu Shao heard Yuan Shao Euro trademark's rebuttal, so he could only patiently explain, "My lord, please don't a Euro trademark T be angry, please let me explain. Although Jizhu has a special location, the combat effectiveness of Lu Feng's troops is indeed much stronger than ours. Therefore, when they attack Jizhu, we have no chance to defend it. Jizhu is completely like chicken ribs, and it is a pity to abandon them if they are tasteless." Although Yuan Shao is arrogant, he was unwilling to bow his head, but Zhu Shao said that the combat effectiveness of Lu Feng's troops was much stronger than his own. After all, the reality was there. Although he was unwilling to accept it, he could not refute it. When Jushu saw that Yuan Shao acquiesced to his statement, he asked, "My lord, what do you think of Cao's attack on Suzhu?" Yuan Shao said, "Although Cao Jili attacked Suzhu in name to avenge his father, but I know that he must have taken a fancy to the wealth of Suzhu and wanted to bring Suzhu under his command. He can hide this little trick from others, but he can't even try to deceive me." Zheshao listened to Yuan Shao's words and said with a smile, "It is indeed wise for my lord to see this. However, my subordinates believe that Cao is so determined to attack Suzhu crazily. In addition to the wealth of Suzhu, there is another more important reason." After hearing this, Yuan Shao frowned and asked, "Oh? Tell me what the reason is." Zheshao said, "Suzhu has been a battleground for military strategists since ancient times. In addition to its pleasant climate and rich products, more importantly, its geographical location is very important. Suzhu Nanlian Yangzhou is connected to Qingzhou in the north, Bohai Sea in the east, and Yanzhou and Yuzhou in the west. Cao tried so hard to capture Suzhu because he must want to develop to the south. The river system of Yangzhou in the south is crisscrossed, and the natural barrier of the Yangtze River can block the north. If Lu Feng wants to go south to attack the army, Suzhu is the place he must pass through. Therefore, Cao must want to use the land of Suzhu to go south to seize Yangzhou with Sun Jian to accumulate his own power in order to finally fight for the world. And Sun Jian must have guessed that Cao, that's why he put aside his hatred with Liu Biao and concentrated his forces to unify Yangzhou. In this case, Sun Jian, Cao, Liu Biao and others were concentrated in the south, while only Lu Feng and us were left in the north. Now, it is said that Cao has withdrawn all his direct descendants from Qingzhou and is preparing to attack Yangzhou with all his strength, so it will no longer be difficult for Lu Feng to unify Qingzhou. And when Lu Feng takes the entire Qingzhou into his pocket, the entire north will not only be far away but also apart from the desolate and barren Liangzhou and Bingzhou, only Jizhu will be left. So he will definitely fight with our army with all his strength. Presumably Cao also had this idea in evacuating Qingzhou. I hope we can slow down Lu Feng and give him enough he needs time to develop his own power." After hearing what Zheshao said, Yuan Shao was shocked and said angrily, "Cao Jili, a treacherous villain, actually tried to let me, Yuan Shaolei, act as a shield for him. In this case, we will give up. Jizhu is implemented in accordance with Gonggai's plan. It's just that Gonggao said that he wanted to develop in the Salai area, but Luoyang has long been changed beyond recognition after Dongzhou's fire, and it is still extremely depressed. Can we have good development if we go there?" Zheshao said. Seeing Yuan Shao's doubts, he explained, although Suzhu's economic situation is not very good for the time being, it can still be used as a place with a little governance. In addition, the Lord can send soldiers to garrison in Suzhu, store grain and grass, and use Hulao Pass to the danger of Hang Pass is enough to last for a long time even if foreign enemies invade. In addition, the Lord can also send troops to attack Yanzhou. Since Cao has moved to the south, Yanzhou's defense will not be very strong. Taking Yanzhou can echo Suzhu and report at the same time. Cao uses us as a shield for his hatred. In addition, he also asked the Lord to form an alliance with the later General Yuan Shu and join forces to control Yuzhou. Yuan Shao began to listen to Zheshu's suggestion and kept nodding, but in the end he heard that he and Yuan Shu joining forces, he couldn't help but say, why join forces with Yuan Shu to capture Yuzhou? Our army is strong, and we have super generals like Yan Liang and Wenzhou, plus Zhang He, Gao Lan, Chu Yi and others. Yu Gong is planning with you, Yuan Hao and others. Isn't Yuzhou easily captured? Zheshao shook his head and said, "My lord, now is not the time to settle personal scores. Now that the world is in chaos, Cao and Sun Jian have been prepared for it, and Lu Feng is extremely powerful. Our army has lost the upper hand. If we fight alone, we will be extremely passive. And since Yuan Shu is the brother of the Lord and jointly represents the interests of the Yuan family, your alliance can maintain peace for a long time. Otherwise, Yuan Shu will be wiped out by the various princes in a short time. At that time, only the Lord will be left in the Yuan family, and it is very likely that he will be wiped out in the chaos of the princes. Yuan Shao listened to Zhu Shao's words and thought for a long time. I don't know whether it was because of the strong pressure brought by Lu Feng, but Yuan Shao actually listened to Zhu Shao's suggestion. Then he issued an order, sending Yan Liang to lead an army of 50,000, with Tian Feng and Su Yu as the military advisor attacked Yanzhou. He personally led Wenzhou, Gao Lan, Zheshao and others and an army of 50,000 to attack Salihani County. In the end, Zhang He, Shen Pi and others were left to guard Jizhu, holding back Zhao Yun and King Bingjian. Although Yuan Shao's orders were very covert, but Longchen newspaper also had a large number of spies in Jizhu. Once his generals were mobilized, they would definitely not be able to hide these spies. So Lu Feng quickly learned about Yuan Shao's movements and guessed that Yuan Shaiji it was possible that he was preparing to move his focus westward and strategically abandon Jizhu. So he immediately sent an order to Zhao Yun to launch a fierce attack on Jizhu. After receiving the order, Zhao Yun immediately led the White Horse Yi Kong and tens of thousands of Yuzhu troops south to attack the Zhongshan kingdom in Jizhu. For Zhen Yi, who Lu Feng was responsible for the operation of various Longchen newspapers, was from Zhongshan, so he provided great help to Zhao Yun. After the two secretly agreed, Zhen Yi sent his own dead soldiers to secretly kill the city gate soldiers at night and opened the door. City gate. So Zhao Yun led his army to capture Zhongshan kingdom with lightning speed and marched towards Panhe. After Zhang He, who stayed in Jizhu, received the news, he also went to Panhe and started a battle with Zhao Yun. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 240. Zhang He is a famous general in Hebei. Although his force is not as good as that of Yan Liang and Wenzhou, as a commander, he is definitely one of the best among Yuan Shao's army in terms of leading troops in battle. Historically, Zhang He was one of the 5 good generals under Cao. He used his troops skillfully, was good at forming camps, and was good at assessing the situation and making good use of the terrain. When Cao and Liu Bei fought for Hanzhong, Cao ordered Zhang He to guard Hanzhong as Xiahao Iwan's deputy general, and fought a fierce battle with Huang Zhong at Dingjun Mountain. At that time, Huang Zhong followed Fazhan's plan and killed Xiahao Yuan. The commander was killed in the battle. Cao's army should have been defeated, but it was precisely because of Zhang He's presence that he stabilized the position in time. Although Cao's army was eventually captured by Huang Zhong in Hanzhong, Zhang He saved most of Cao's troops and did not injure Cao's army. Later, when Liu Bei heard that Xiahao Iwan was beheaded, he sighed, "If you want to kill, just kill Zhang He. What's the use of killing Xiahao Iwan?" This shows that Zhang He's talent is even higher than Xiahao Iwan's. After Liu Bei's death, Zhuge made several northern expeditions. In the first few times, Wei State fought Zhuge with Zhang He as its general. The famous Zhuge in history beheaded Ma Su with tears, thanks to Zhang He. At that time, Ma Su was stationed close to the dangerous Nanshan mountain and did not go down the mountain to occupy the city. Zhang He cut off his access to water, then launched an attack and defeated Ma Su. It is precisely because Zhang He is unparalleled in his use of military equipment, understands changes in tactics, is good at setting up camps and deploying strategies and tactics according to the terrain, and there are no unexpected situations that he cannot foresee, so all the generals of Shu starting from Zhuge regard him as a formidable enemy. Although Zhang He did not have much combat experience as a good general in history at this time, his fighting style has already been formed. Under the leadership of Zhang He, the Jizhu army's combat effectiveness increased greatly, and they were often elusive and surrounded by various ambushes, making it difficult for Zhao Yun's army to guard against them. The two sides fought many times in Iwa River, with each winning and losing, but they were always in a stalemate. Neither side could completely defeat the other, so they had to temporarily cease fighting. While Zhao Yun and Zhang He were fighting in Jizhu, Lu Feng was busy attacking Qi, Yuan Shao was attacking Sizhuhani County, and Cao was preparing to join forces with Liu Biao to attack Yangzhou. In addition, the other princes are not idle either. They all want to take advantage of the chaos in the world and attack each other to find a piece of land suitable for development. Among them, Lu Buledin of Bingzhou and Ma Teng of Liangzhou wanted to control the Salai area in their own hands because they were close to Sizhu. Lu Buledin was originally from Juyuan County, Wuyuan County, Bingzhou. He had grown tall and powerful since he was a child, with extraordinary strength. Because the Qiang people invaded Juyuan County when he was a child, Lu Buledin, who was only 10 years old at the time, snatched a long sword from the Qiang people and drove back nearly 100 Qiang cavalry. From then on, Lu Buledin became famous in Bingzhou. When he was a teenager, Lu Buledin was appreciated by the governor of Wuyuan County for his bravery and served in the county. Later, Ding Yuan became the governor of Bingzhou. After hearing about Lu Buledin's deeds, he recruited him as chief secretary and adopted Lu Buledin as his adopted son. He was very close to him. Until he entered the capital from the table and used a red rabbit horse to lure Lu Buledin to kill Ding Yuan, and brought the Bingzhou wolf cavalry to join his own army. Lu Buledin had a high prestige in Bingzhou. Later, when Dongzhou was attacked by a coalition of princes, he followed Li Ru's suggestion and moved west to Chang'an. As a result, he was overtaken by a coalition led by Lu Feng, Cao, and others, and Dongzhou was also killed by Lu Feng. After Dongzhou's death, Lu Buledin fled back to Bingzhou with the Bingzhou wolf cavalry. Relying on the prestige accumulated in the past and the powerful combat effectiveness of the Bingzhou wolf cavalry, Lu Buledin easily conquered the counties of Bingzhou and established himself as the shepherd of Bingzhou. Soon after Lu Buledin took control of Bingzhou, Chen Gong approached Lu Buledin and expressed his willingness to help Lu Buledin Jinzhou in his career. In fact, Chen Gong admired Cao very much before he decided to assist Lu Buledin. Especially when Dongzhou brought chaos to the government, Cao dared to go to Dongzhou's house to assassinate him alone. This incident made Chen Gong see Cao's courage and fearless spirit of sacrificing his life for the world. Therefore, Cao escaped from Luoyang and was captured in Zhongmu County. Chen Gong happened to be the magistrate of Zhongmu County at the time, so he released Cao privately and escaped with Cao. But later, Cao accidentally killed Lu Baxi's family and said, "I would rather teach me to betray the people of the world than teach the people of the world to betray me." Chen Gong felt that Cao was not the hero who was willing to show up for the common people as he thought. Therefore, Chen Gong was extremely disappointed with Cao and finally joined Lu Buledin's army. Compared to Cao, Lu Buledin was more obedient and more dependent on Chen Gong. So Chen Gong Jian suggested to Lu Buledin, now that the world is in chaos, if Feng Xian prefers to stay in Bingzhou and be peaceful, he will be defeated by other princes in the future. In order to protect yourself and not be bullied by others, you must have enough money, strength and territory. Since the Salai area is connected to Bingzhou, and Hulao Pass is dangerous to defend, Feng Xian should lead his troops south to attack Hedong County in the Salai area and compete for territory with Yuan Shao, who is attacking Sizhu. At this time, Lu Buledin, because he did not have Diao Chan to accompany him all day long, was still very proud and wanted to find a place in the troubled times. Therefore, he followed Chen Gong's suggestion and led the Bingzhou wolf cavalry to march to the east of Hedong. As for Ma Teng of Liangzhou, as a descendant of Ma Yuan, the famous general Fubo of the Eastern Han Dynasty, he has always wanted to revive the Ma family of Ziliang and become a loyal minister of the Han Dynasty just like Ma Yuan. At this time, the emperor of Han Dynasty was dead, but the capital Luoyang was still controlled by Li Ju and Guo Si, Dong Zhou's remaining party, so Ma Teng decided to attack Sizhou and attack Li Ju and Guo Si. So Ma Teng took General Pang De as the vanguard and led the Ziliang cavalry eastward to attack Yufeng County in the Salai area. After Dong Zhou was killed, the remaining ministers in the court, at the suggestion of Sidu Wanjian, prepared to summon the Yulin army to kill all the remaining soldiers in Liangzhou. Even Liangzhou people might be killed. So in order to protect himself, Jiesu took the initiative to find Li Ju and Guo Bang and asked them to gather the remaining Liangzhou soldiers to counter-attack Luoyang. The reason why the Liangzhou army scattered and fled was mainly because of the strength of the coalition of princes and the fact that there was no leader after Dong Zhou's death, but their own strength did not weaken much. Therefore, Li Ju and Guo Si easily led their troops to defeat Yulin's army and entered Luoyang, killed Wang Yun and took control of Sizhou. Now Yuan Shao leads Wenzhou, Gaolan, Jushao and an army of 50,000 to attack Hanoi County, Lu Buletin leads Chenggong and Bingzhou Lonqi and tens of thousands of Bingzhou troops to attack Hedong County, and Ma Teng leads Pang De and tens of thousands of Ziliang troops to attack Yufeng County. 3 princes attacked the 3 counties of Sizhou at the same time. If Li Ju and Guo Si divided their forces to resist, their troops would not be able to stop the 3 princes. Even if they fight hard, the final result is that Li Ju and Guo Si are defeated, and Sizhou is divided among 3 princes.